Hello, I'm Kirk Williams, and welcome to A Second Take. This week we're going to do a second take on 3 movies. This week we have for you Wreck-It Ralph, Man with the Iron Fist, and Denzel Washington's Flight. Here we go. First of all, Man with the Iron Fist. This was directed, actually it was a movie, another Quentin Tarantino movie, which is really good graphics. It's got this old school kind of cheesy graphics. This has RZA, who I believe is a rapper, Russell Crowe, Lucy Liu. So anyway, it goes like this. Since his arrival in China's jungle village, the town's blacksmith has been forced by radical tribal factions to create elaborate tools of mass destruction. Well, the only thing that probably really needed to be destroyed in this was the movie itself. I mean, it was cool watching the old school style that Quentin Tarantino does so well, but the movie was super cheesy. It had really bad acting, and I don't know if that was on purpose or what. Now, when it all comes down to it, the thing was rated R. There's a lot of strong language. There's a lot of sexual innuendo, sexual simulated sex scenes, which gave it the R rating. They would have been better served if they would have made this thing PG-13, so a bunch of little 13-year-old boys could have went down and saw some really cheesy kung fu stuff, which is what I did when I was a kid, and this was like super cheesy. What else would have made this movie better if they would have just literally taken and put bad voiceover over the lips, over, as they were talking? That would have made it a much better movie right there. But this thing, the longer it went, the longer I wanted it to be over with. It was bad. It was actually a perfectly good waste of an afternoon. Now, when we look at the Kirkometer, we have to say, Kirk, what are we going to do with the Man with the Iron Fist? Well, it was iron, and what do you do with iron? You drop it to the bottom of the ocean. Does it float? No, hopefully it'll rust and go away. I wouldn't even recommend this movie in the red box. Actually, this movie will probably wind up on some late night cheesy kung fu show that comes on at 1 o'clock in the movie, and it'll probably come up against some other really bad kung fu flick. A lot of action, but after that, the action wasn't even worth it. How's that? Shall we move along? I would rate this thing, but can I go below a 0, guys? Okay, it gets a 0, or is that a fist, an iron fist? Nothing here. Wait, it's gonna be on in a couple months on some bad kung fu flick movie thing. Moving right along. Denzel Washington's Flight. Denzel Washington plays airline captain William Whip Whitaker. He awakens in his Orlando hotel room with a flight attendant played by Katarina Marquez, who is really Nadine Velasquez, after a night of sex, alcohol, and very little sleep, and using a bunch of cocaine and drugs and stuff like that.
Good morning, Trina.
Good morning, Captain Whitaker.
Here's a manifest with 102 souls on board.
Let's get them tucked in. We're ready to push. How you feeling, Whip? Looked like you pulled some kind of move up there, man. You saved a lot of lives.
We are in a dive. I have no control on my side. Who's on deck? Everybody in brace positions.
The way you landed that plane was nothing short of a miracle.
I see nothing but houses. Listen to me. Trim us nose down.
The plane fell apart at 30,000 feet.
We're gonna roll it. What do you mean roll it? Ready? Here we go.
This is Hugh Lang, who's an attorney from Chicago. Why do we need a lawyer?
You don't remember having your blood drawn the night of the crash? You had alcohol in your system. That could be life in prison.
This was kind of a sleeper for me. I was expecting it to be different than what it actually turned out to be. Dude had a serious drinking problem, and what I found out too is a lot of your alcohol distributors are kind of pissed off because they didn't even hide the labels. When he was drinking a Bud, it didn't say Mud or Good, or it said Bud, and they showed a bunch of other alcohol labels and they're not happy about that. But the movie overall, it's definitely an adult movie. This thing is rated R, strong language, but some serious hardcore nudity in the first 10 minutes or so, I would say. So if you are uncomfortable with seeing some serious nudity, be careful who you go with, at least for the first 10 minutes. And I hope that's not a spoiler, but for some people it wouldn't be a spoiler, but yeah. Now, the movie kind of plodded along and went a little slow at times. They threw in the romance thing. Adult movie. Didn't move fast enough for me, but I like Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington could play Little Bo Peep for me, and I think he was great. The other actors had short things. Don Cheadle was in this. Who was this other guy, too, that was in it? What's his name? John Goodman. He played somebody in this movie. I won't give anything away, and, you know, he did his part. I really think it could have been a better movie. They could have shifted the way that it was written. Now, where does Flight fall on the Kirkometer? Let's see. 5 means don't miss. 1 means go to the red box. Kind of like a 2.5. I mean, it's definitely not a don't miss or a go see. You know, if it's an adult flick. I mean, adult movies are good, but they get too adulty for me. I like to laugh sometimes. I mean, stuff out there is too serious as it is. So it's kind of 2.5, you know, Sunday afternoon. If you've got some adult friends, you can go see. Now, I keep stressing adult because I saw another Denzel Washington movie that was rated R, and it was cool. It wasn't bad. It had a little bit of language in there, but it was mostly rated R because of violence. And I could have taken my son to see that, and he would have enjoyed it because of the action. Not this thing. You're going to be having some explaining to do, Ricky, if you take my son to see this. Some serious adult things. So anyway, Flight on the Kirkometer. Flight gets a 2.5. Go see if you please, but if not, go wait for the red box. Now, don't get me wrong. Love some Denzel Washington. I like the storyline. I just would have written it different. How's that? However, on a side note, if you or someone you know is having a serious problem with drugs and alcohol, this is a good movie for them. Get help. Now we move to my this week's favorite, believe it or not, Wreck-It Ralph. That's funny, isn't it? I know. Took my kids to see it. They enjoyed it. Basically, this is how it goes. Wreck-It Ralph. Ralph is tired of being overshadowed by Fix-It Felix, the good guy, star of their game who always gets to save the day. But after decades of doing the same thing and seeing all the glory go to Felix, Ralph decides he's tired of playing the role of a bad guy, and he takes matters into his own hands and skips to another game and decides he's gonna get himself a medal and become a good guy. Well, let's see. Sorry, let me show you. Who was in this? John C. Reilly, Jack McBair, Jane Lynch, Adam Carell. The voices were great. They didn't really stand out a whole lot to me, but I enjoyed the movie. I chuckled my way through it. My kids laughed. Other kids at the theater laughed. Matter of fact, I even talked to my kids about it. Let's see what they had to say.
It's about those two, Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope. They had the same. She was glitching, and then the other people who was playing the game thought that it was broken, and then if they put it out of order, then they're gonna take it out, and people don't want that, so they didn't let her to race. Yeah, it's good. It's funny, you know. Yeah, you should take your kids with you and like see it in a Saturday or something. We're kids, anyways. Yeah.
There you have it, spoken from the mouth of babes. You know what? They have a clearer understanding of what they like than I do, although I like the movie. Now, Wreck-It Ralph, it's a family movie. Go see it. Still, overall, Wreck-It Ralph, it falls in the 3 go-to-see category for me. I like Wreck-It Ralph. Maybe you will too. I'm done. There we have it. My 3 picks for this week. We've got Wreck-It Ralph, 3, go see. Flight, 2.5, be careful, a lot of serious nudity. And Man with the Iron Fist, a very forgettable action movie, but we won't go there. I'm Kirk Williams, and this has been A Second Take on 3 movies, and we will see you next time here at A Second Take. And do go see a good movie, and hopefully I can help you do that. Bye-bye.